or do we need just a guy that can maybe help in a pinch or a rotational guy? So that'll be the big question coming out of spring practice. But they've got some talented young guys at wide receiver that I think they're pretty excited about. Mike Matthews obviously almost went in the transfer portal back in December, ended up not entering the portal. That was a big win for Tennessee to hold on to him. So can he be the big time player that they thought he was capable of being coming out of high school? Didn't contribute as much as a true freshman as he probably wanted to. There were a couple of reasons for that, but regardless, now he's got his opportunity and he's got to make the most of it. Tennessee certainly needs him to be good. Braylon Staley, another guy that was a true freshman this past year, didn't do much in his first year in the program, but they're excited about him too. Can he be a starter in the slot to replace Squirrel White? That's a big question for this spring. Where does Amari Jefferson fit? He didn't do anything at Alabama, didn't take a snap in a game, partly because of an injury, but even earlier in the year for other reasons. So not sure where he might fit in. He's kind of a wild card. And then some other young guys like Travis Smith Jr., a true freshman who might have to play a little bit given the current situation. So we'll see where they are with that. Cornerback, simply put, Jermod McCoy, they don't know his availability for the start of the season. He suffered a knee injury during off-season training back home in Texas. And the timeline, it's a torn ACL. The timeline for that, obviously not ideal. That's something he's dealing with, and they think there's some hope that he can be back around the start of the season, but they're just not sure. So in the meantime, I think you kind of got to operate as though he might miss the first 4 or 5 games of the season. And if that's the case, you need a guy who can at least give you a potential starter at corner. So I think they will be looking for a cornerback in the transfer portal.
Can I ask you a little bit about McCoy? You mentioned him and his injury. I remember he was described as a value add, like, boy, they found something from Oregon State. Can you remember, what was that recruitment? Which coach was on it, the evaluator? Because they found a SEC impact guy from Oregon State and were able to add him. And I know that they would like to do something like that again.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a value add, but not maybe not as much as people might think. He wasn't a household name at Oregon State. Really interesting player coming out of high school because he was recruited. He was really more of a wide receiver in high school. I think Oregon State always kind of had in mind that he could play cornerback, though. And he goes out there, and despite not having a ton of experience at corner, goes out there and starts, I think it was 5 games as a true